What's up guys, it's the Little Crazy Boy Aaron, and today we are continuing the Halloween marathon. And we now come to Halloween H20 20 years later. So after Halloween 5 and 6 making the story too overcomplicated, there was really nowhere for the series to go. It wasn't until Jamie Lee Curtis came to the studio with an idea about a Halloween film that would take place 20 years after the events of the first and second film and ignore the events of 4, 5, and 6. And thus, Halloween H20 was born. Now I will be giving you my thoughts on it. Spoilers, obviously. The film opens with an old character from series, Marion, as she has discovered that her home has been broken into. And I gotta say, I love this whole opening sequence. It's very suspenseful, and it ends with Marion being killed by Michael, and it's fantastic. We then also get one of my favorite opening credit sequences of any Halloween movie, with the camera panning at newspaper clippings of Michael and Laurie, and the music is fantastic. We also see that Laurie is still afraid of Michael coming after her, even after 20 years, and that she has changed her name to Carrie Tate, and has a son named John, who is being overprotected by Laurie, fearing that Michael will one day find him. We are also introduced to Molly, John's girlfriend, as well as his friends Charlie and his girlfriend Sarah. Now, to be honest, I do really like Molly. She's a great character. Charlie and Sarah are pretty good too, but not as great. Now, surprisingly, not a lot of people end up dying in this film. The only people that die are Charlie and Sarah, as well as Laurie's boyfriend Will, who I forgot to mention. He's not really that great of a character, he's just there to be Laurie's boyfriend. There's also a security guard at the school, played by LL Cool J, and to be honest, his scenes are pretty freaking annoying, with him constantly talking to his wife on the phone. And he gets distracted and is the reason Michael gets into the school where Laurie is. Yeah. I also love the shot with Michael looking at Laurie for the first time in 20 years through the circle glass thingy. I love that scene each time. It's really great. It still sucks that I can see Michael's eyes clearly. That's a problem with this movie. Like, throughout the entire film, you can see Michael's eyes clearly, even though in part 2, they were shot at, and he's completely fine, so it's kind of weird. Laurie then finally decides that it's time to confront Michael and stop hiding. She goes to get an axe and goes to confront Michael. Now, the fight is pretty fun, and it ends with Laurie stabbing Michael a bunch of times until he falls onto a table below. Laurie then decides it's time to go in for the kill, so she grabs the knife that was in Michael, and she's about to go in for one last shot until she's interrupted by LL Cool J's character stopping her at the last second. We then see the paramedics taking Michael's body away, and before they can do that, Laurie grabs one of the guns of the cops, and she just gets in the ambulance and she just drives off. Michael then attempts to attack her while she's driving, and then she just slams on the brakes, forcing Michael to go through the windshield. After this, Michael gets up and she floors it, pinning Michael to the car, and similar to Halloween 4, the car ends up getting flipped down a hill where Michael is pinned between a tree and the car. Now after this, you think it's going to be a touching moment with Laurie reaching out for Michael's hands and, forgiving him, but then something unexpected happens. Yeah, that's right, Laurie cuts his head off. Now, I do agree with what John Carpenter said about the first film. Evil never dies. But I'm sorry, when his head is cut off, I'm pretty sure there's no coming back from that. With that being said, I do like Halloween 4's ending better than H2O's. Halloween 4 had an ending where evil didn't die, it was passed on to Jamie. Now, of course, Halloween 5 ruined this, but it was still my favorite ending out of any of the sequels. Now, with that being said, you might be wondering what I think of H2O. Well, the thing about Halloween H2O is, while still being a sequel to 1 and 2, it feels different. It feels less like a creepy Halloween movie and more of a fun Halloween movie. Now, don't get me wrong, it still has some creepy scenes in it, but for the most part, especially during the third act, I was more feeling of, yeah, get 'em, Laurie, than anything else. I wasn't really worried as much for the characters as I was just having fun with it, and I would like it to be more on the creepy side. Now, it's not to say that I want the new film to be nothing but scary. It can balance both being scary and fun at the same time. Overall, Halloween H2O is still one of the better sequels in the series. It's not one of the best sequels, but it's one of the better ones. And I'm going to give Halloween H2O, 20 years later, a 7 out of 10. So those were my thoughts on Halloween H2O 20 years later. What are you guys' thoughts on the film? Let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, we have 3 more movies in the marathon to review until the new film comes out. So yeah, I am currently working on the script for the next film, so no worries. And yeah, this was kind of late, but I tried my best. And yeah, so stay tuned for more, and drop a like on this if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, Crazy Army.